Imagine stepping into a moment when the world still felt mechanical, where every lever, pedal, and switch connected you directly to the road. A time when progress meant daring to reinvent what movement could feel like. Now picture a machine so strange, so far ahead of its time, that it made everything else on the road look instantly outdated. This was not a dream car from the future. It was real, elegant, and unapologetically different. It floated rather than rolled, glided rather than bounced, and whispered rather than shouted. People who saw it in person felt they were witnessing the arrival of tomorrow. Its shape divided critics but enchanted millions. Its technology baffled mechanics yet inspired generations of designers. What happens when one bold creation rewrites the rules of comfort, design, and identity for an entire nation? That is the story of how a singular vision of modernity transformed the automobile into something almost poetic. Stay tuned, hit like and subscribe, and tell us in the comments which iconic machine you want us to explore next. In 1955, the Citroen DS arrived like a lightning bolt across the European automotive scene. An otherworldly creation that seemed to glide more than drive, standing as a testament to the radical thinking of post-war France. The Citroen DS 1955 was not merely a car. It was a cultural statement, born in a nation rebuilding its confidence and reasserting its identity through design and innovation. To understand how the DS came to exist, you have to see it as the product of ambition colliding with artistry. Citroen, known even then for its eccentric engineering, wanted to break free from convention. The company's leadership envisioned a vehicle that would carry France into a new age, blending the aesthetic grace of sculpture with the comfort of modern technology. The result was something the world had never seen before. Sleek lines that mimicked aeronautics more than automobiles, a body that appeared to hover, and a ride experience that made cobblestone streets feel like glass. At its unveiling at the Paris Motor Show in October 1955, the Citroën DS stunned onlookers into silence. This was no incremental update or modest evolution. The DS redefined what people believed a car could be. Its hydropneumatic suspension system used pressurized fluid and nitrogen to create a self-leveling ride that seemed almost magical. The car could raise or lower itself at will, compensating for weight and terrain in real time. While most drivers in the 1950s still accepted bumping and jolting as part of daily travel, the DS offered smoothness that bordered on surreal. For many, it was their first encounter with technology that felt alive, responsive, and intelligent. The DS didn't just drive. It adapted. Design played an equally vital role. Citroën entrusted the car's form to Flaminio Bertoni, an Italian sculptor-turned-designer whose artistic instincts pushed the DS beyond ordinary automotive styling. Its aerodynamic profile was unlike anything else on the road. A tapering roofline, enclosed rear wheels, and a long, fluid silhouette that looked sculpted by the wind itself. Even details like the single-spoke steering wheel reflected an obsession with minimalism and control. The car's interior carried the same philosophy: bright, open, and futuristic, with thin pillars that expanded visibility. Everything about the DS said progress. But innovation rarely comes without cost. Citroën's ambition tested the limits of what the company could produce. The hydropneumatic system, while revolutionary, demanded precision that strained manufacturing processes. Early production units were plagued by leaks, faulty seals, and complex maintenance requirements. Dealers were caught off guard by the mechanical sophistication. Mechanics needed special training to handle the new technology. Yet, despite these growing pains, the allure of the DS proved irresistible. Within 10 days of its debut, Citroën had received over 80,000 orders, a record-shattering figure that spoke to how deeply the car had captured the public imagination. Culturally, the DS symbolized more than transportation. It represented France itself, elegant, innovative, and unafraid to defy convention. Post-war Europe was rebuilding not only cities and economies but also confidence. The DS embodied the optimism of a society eager to demonstrate that sophistication and engineering could coexist beautifully. In this sense, the car was as much a psychological phenomenon as a technological one. It reflected the idea that progress was not just functional. It was emotional, tactile, and visual. Driving the Citroën DS meant participating in a national renewal of pride and creativity. Its performance only deepened that mystique. The DS's front-wheel drive layout provided exceptional handling for its time, and its braking system, also hydraulically assisted, set new safety standards. The car could stop faster and more smoothly than almost anything else on the road. Combined with its aerodynamic efficiency, it offered both comfort and control, two qualities rarely found together in mid-century motoring. This duality, the blend of effortless grace with commanding stability, became the DS's defining characteristic. Owners often described the sensation of floating rather than driving, a phrase that perfectly captured the emotional response Citroën had aimed for. The 1950s were an era of optimism mixed with uncertainty, and the DS seemed to channel both. It offered a glimpse into a future that felt thrilling but slightly unreal. The car's name itself, DS, pronounced DS, meaning goddess in French, was a deliberate play on this dual nature. Beauty infused with mystery, technology dressed as art. In a market filled with chrome-heavy giants and practical sedans, the DS stood apart as something transcendent. It asked a question few automakers dared to pose. What if comfort, style, and innovation were not separate goals, but a single pursuit? Citroën's advertising leaned heavily into this narrative, emphasizing how the DS reimagined driving. The marketing promised a new kind of mobility, graceful, intelligent, and distinctly human. This approach resonated with a generation eager for optimism. People did not simply buy a Citroën DS. They bought into an idea that progress could be beautiful. It became a status symbol not for wealth, but for imagination. Politicians, artists, and intellectuals embraced it as a rolling emblem of modern French identity. The car's influence extended beyond the highway. It entered film, photography, and even architecture as a motif of futuristic elegance. However, the DS also faced skepticism. Traditionalists viewed its complexity with suspicion. Rivals dismissed it as impractical, fragile, and overly idealistic. Some drivers found the steering light and alien compared to conventional setups. The suspension, while luxurious, could feel floaty at high speeds if not perfectly maintained. Yet, for every critic, there were dozens of admirers who saw those quirks as proof of genius. The DS did not compromise. It demanded understanding. And for those willing to learn, it delivered an experience unmatched in comfort and sophistication. In retrospect, the Citroën DS 1955 was both a technological breakthrough and a philosophical experiment. It challenged not only engineering norms but also the very idea of what a car could mean in society. The DS asked its audience to believe in possibility, to trust that machines could embody beauty and grace. It turned the mundane act of travel into something poetic. Few vehicles before or since have managed to achieve that balance of art and utility. As Citroën refined the model through the late 1950s and into the 1960s, the DS evolved, gaining improvements in reliability and design. Yet its essence remained unchanged. It was always forward-looking, unapologetically bold, and unmistakably French. The 1955 debut remains the moment everything began, the spark that redefined automotive imagination. Even decades later, no recounting of automotive innovation feels complete without acknowledging the profound influence of the Citroën DS. It was not only a car but a manifesto of motion, a declaration that engineering and elegance could exist in perfect harmony. The Citroën DS 1955 did more than turn heads. It changed how the automotive industry thought about technology and design. As the decade progressed, Citroën refined its engineering while the rest of the world raced to catch up. The DS became the ultimate reference point for comfort and control. Its hydropneumatic suspension evolved into a symbol of smoothness under any condition, keeping the car stable whether gliding along rough country lanes or sweeping across European highways. Drivers could adjust ride height manually, an unheard-of feature in that era. For owners, it felt as if they had command over gravity itself. What set the DS apart was how it fused art and engineering into one seamless experience. This was not a machine that demanded attention through power or size but through grace. The Citroën DS 1955 also introduced a level of safety and innovation that few manufacturers dared to imagine. The car's advanced braking system, controlled hydraulically, allowed immediate response and minimized pedal effort. In an age when drum brakes dominated, the DS offered confidence that bordered on futuristic. Its lightweight fiberglass roof lowered the center of gravity while improving handling and efficiency. The car's aerodynamic silhouette was shaped through wind tunnel testing long before such methods became standard practice. Even the interior layout promoted safety. The dashboard design minimized sharp edges, and the single-spoke steering wheel ensured visibility of the instrument cluster. Each decision revealed how deeply Citroen's engineers thought about human experience. Yet perfection is rarely without friction. The very complexity that made the Citroen DS 1955 so advanced also made it challenging to maintain. The hydraulic system required specialized knowledge, and neglect could lead to costly repairs. Many owners adored the comfort, but grew frustrated by the maintenance demands. For mechanics used to simpler vehicles, the DS seemed like a puzzle with too many pieces. Citroen's determination to stay independent in its methods meant parts and expertise were limited outside Europe, adding to its reputation as both brilliant and temperamental. But this duality only added to its mystique. It was a car that inspired devotion rather than casual ownership. To have a DS was to commit to an experience unlike any other. By the early 1960s, the Citroen DS had already become an icon of modernity. In France, it symbolized not just technological prowess but national pride. When President Charles de Gaulle famously credited the DS for saving his life after an assassination attempt, its myth grew even larger. The car's ability to remain stable despite heavy damage demonstrated the advantages of its design and suspension system. While details of that event became part of folklore, the message was clear. The DS had transcended its status as an automobile. It was now a symbol of resilience and control under pressure. For ordinary citizens, it represented security, style, and the optimism of progress. Beyond its technical achievements, the Citroen DS 1955 transformed the aesthetics of automotive design. Its influence spread quietly across the industry, reshaping how rivals approached proportion and aerodynamics. The sweeping roofline, the integrated headlights that later turned with the steering, and the hidden rear wheels all contributed to a design language decades ahead of its time. Even manufacturers that dismissed Citroen's eccentricities found themselves borrowing cues from its streamlined silhouette. The DS had proven that form and function could enhance each other rather than compete. In a world accustomed to chrome-heavy ornamentation, the DS demonstrated restraint and purpose. It redefined beauty as the outcome of efficiency and imagination combined. Owning a Citroen DS 1955 was as much about status as it was about ideology. In France, it became the car of intellectuals, architects, and visionaries. People who valued thoughtfulness over flash. Its silent glide, spacious interior, and understated presence made it the perfect companion for long journeys or quiet reflection. Every curve of the dashboard, every movement of the suspension, communicated refinement. The DS was never loud. It was confident. It carried itself the way an artist carries conviction, effortlessly and without apology. To drive it was to experience a piece of living sculpture that responded to the road with intelligence and grace. But innovation carries a price. And for Citroën, the DS's brilliance came with financial strain. The costs of producing such an advanced vehicle were high, and the company's narrow profit margins grew tighter as maintenance issues lingered. Citroën's insistence on doing things differently often alienated potential investors and partners. Yet, rather than retreat, the company doubled down on experimentation. This relentless pursuit of innovation defined the Citroën identity for decades. The DS proved that originality could capture hearts even when logic said otherwise. Its success demonstrated that risk could be rewarded not only with sales but with legacy. The Citroën DS 1955 also anticipated trends that would dominate the future of automotive design. Its approach to ride comfort prefigured the adaptive suspensions of modern luxury cars. Its focus on aerodynamics laid the groundwork for vehicles that prioritize efficiency. Even its emphasis on driver-centric interiors can be traced forward to today's minimalist dashboards. In every sense, the DS foreshadowed the future while belonging unmistakably to its time. It was a bridge between eras, born in an age of optimism but designed for a century yet to come. The car's global reach expanded steadily through the 1960s. Though never mass-produced to the same scale as competitors from other manufacturers, the DS found a dedicated following in Europe, Australia, and parts of North America. Its presence on international roads turned it into a rolling ambassador for French creativity. Wherever it appeared, it commanded attention not through size or noise but through elegance. The DS taught the world that sophistication could be as persuasive as speed. Its owners, often described as discerning and adventurous, viewed it not merely as transportation but as a statement of values, an embrace of technology as art. By the late 1960s, the Citroen DS 1955 had inspired variations and successors that carried its DNA forward. Yet none could fully replicate its original magic. Its debut year remained legendary, the benchmark against which later innovations were measured. Each model refinement reinforced the notion that progress must serve comfort and experience, not just performance figures. The DS turned the concept of the automobile into something almost emotional. It spoke of aspiration, of humanity's desire to merge creativity with practicality. Few machines have ever managed to balance those forces so harmoniously. Over time, the DS's influence began to reach beyond engineering and aesthetics. It appeared in art galleries, exhibitions, and film as a cultural icon representing intelligence and elegance. Designers across industries cited it as proof that courage and experimentation yield timeless results. Even decades later, the DS remained relevant, not as nostalgia, but as inspiration. In an age obsessed with speed and convenience, it reminded the world that comfort and beauty could also define progress. To understand the DS is to understand a philosophy that innovation should serve emotion as much as function. As the story of the Citroen DS 1955 moved into its later chapters, its significance only deepened. This was a car that refused to age in spirit, evolving gracefully even as automotive design entered the modern era. Citroën continued refining the DS throughout its long production run, adding innovations that kept it relevant while staying true to its original purpose. The car's later versions introduced directional headlights that swiveled with the steering, an innovation that improved visibility and safety at night. For drivers accustomed to fixed beams, it felt almost supernatural to see the road illuminated precisely where they were heading. The DS remained an embodiment of forward thinking, demonstrating that comfort and control could evolve together without compromise. By the early 1970s, the Citroën DS 1955 had become more than an automobile. It was a touchstone for innovation across industries. Designers from architecture, aviation, and even fashion cited its influence. The car's sculpted surfaces and organic forms mirrored the optimism of mid-century modernism, a design movement focused on elegance through simplicity. Citroën's decision to merge aesthetics with utility proved prescient. It anticipated the design philosophy that would later dominate consumer technology. The DS was a reminder that progress is not only measured in horsepower or efficiency, but also in how a product makes people feel. Every curve, seam, and surface of the DS was engineered to evoke calmness, a sensation as valuable as performance itself. The emotional connection drivers felt toward the Citroën DS 1955 was unparalleled. Owners often described it as a companion rather than a machine. The self-leveling suspension provided a sensation of stability that inspired trust on every journey. Passengers could sip coffee or read a newspaper as the car glided over uneven pavement, its chassis absorbing imperfections with effortless poise. This comfort redefined luxury, shifting it from extravagance to serenity. The DS did not demand admiration through excess. It earned it through harmony. That balance of innovation and restraint became its enduring legacy, one that continues to influence automotive philosophy today. Economically, however, Citroën's relentless pursuit of innovation carried risks. The cost of developing and maintaining the DS platform strained the company's finances. Each technological leap demanded new tooling, specialized materials, and intensive training. Citroën's leadership believed innovation justified the expense, but the numbers told a harsher story. The company's independence, its refusal to conform to industry norms, left it vulnerable in a competitive marketplace increasingly focused on scalability. Despite these challenges, Citroën refused to abandon its ideals. The DS became both a triumph and a cautionary tale about the fine line between creativity and sustainability. It proved that vision alone cannot guarantee stability, yet without vision, progress is impossible. By the time production ended in 1975, the Citroën DS 1955 had achieved legendary status. Nearly 2 decades after its debut, it still looked modern, a rare achievement in an industry that evolves by the season. Its successor inherited many of its core innovations, but the original DS retained a mystique that could not be replicated. Collectors and enthusiasts continued to revere it as one of the most beautifully engineered vehicles ever built. Museums displayed it as art, Critics analyzed it as design philosophy. Even decades later, it stood as proof that engineering can express emotion and that ambition can outlive its creators. Technologically, the DS left an indelible mark on how vehicles interact with their environments. The principles behind its hydropneumatic suspension inspired later adaptive and active systems found in high-end automobiles. Its focus on stability, ride quality, and driver comfort became foundational to modern chassis design. While technology has advanced dramatically since 1955, the DNA of the DS can still be traced through every car that prioritizes ride composure and effortless motion. Citroen's bold experiment proved that innovation aimed at human comfort could shape the future just as much as raw performance. Culturally, the Citroen DS 1955 helped redefine what it meant to own a car. In post-war France, where rebuilding and modernization went hand in hand, the DS became a symbol of sophistication and national pride. It captured the collective imagination, representing the idea that a machine could reflect the soul of a people. The DS was not just transportation. It was aspiration embodied in metal and glass. Its debut marked a turning point in how societies viewed technology. Not as cold or utilitarian, but as expressive and humane. The DS invited people to dream, to imagine the future as something beautiful rather than mechanical. The global legacy of the Citroen DS 1955 is equally profound. In the United States, where automotive design leaned toward power and presence, the DS introduced a new vocabulary of refinement. It influenced generations of designers who sought to blend engineering precision with emotional appeal. Around the world, the car became a shorthand for elegance and intellect, appearing in films, literature, and art as a symbol of modern grace. Even today, the DS retains its aura of quiet confidence, an artifact of an era when innovation felt personal and hopeful. Its story endures not only because of what it achieved, but because of what it represented: courage to challenge the ordinary. As decades passed, the Citroen DS 1955 transformed from a product of innovation into a benchmark of timeless design. Its smooth surfaces and unbroken lines continue to inform design education and philosophy. Museums and private collections preserve it not out of nostalgia, but admiration for its ingenuity. The DS proved that true artistry in engineering transcends its time. It remains relevant because it was never just about technology. It was about vision. The car's influence can be seen in every manufacturer that dares to take risks, every designer who chooses form that follows feeling rather than convention. For enthusiasts today, the Citroen DS 1955 serves as a reminder of what can happen when creativity is allowed to lead. It is studied, restored, and celebrated as one of the greatest expressions of human imagination on wheels. Its significance lies not only in its innovations, but in the way it continues to inspire. When we look at the DS, we see the power of daring ideas and the artistry of purposeful design. It tells us that the pursuit of excellence is worth the challenge, and that sometimes, one audacious creation can redefine an entire industry forever. The Citroen DS 1955 remains one of the few cars in history that transcended its mechanical purpose to become a cultural and emotional symbol. From the moment it was unveiled at the Paris Motor Show, it captured the imagination of an entire generation. Its design and technology turned an ordinary commute into a moment of theater, a demonstration of what vision and courage can create when a company refuses to follow trends. The DS did not simply exist within its time. It reshaped it. For drivers, it offered comfort and grace that felt supernatural. For engineers, it represented the pinnacle of precision and imagination working together. And for designers, it was living proof that beauty could emerge from utility without compromise. Looking back, the Citroen DS 1955 teaches valuable lessons about innovation. It shows that breakthroughs often come from risk and that progress rarely follows a straight line. Citroen's relentless pursuit of originality sometimes strained its finances and challenged its stability, but it also ensured that the DS would never be forgotten. Its hydropneumatic suspension, aerodynamic body, and driver-focused design anticipated technologies that would become standard decades later. Even today, modern vehicles echo the DS's philosophy of human-centered engineering. Machines designed not only to move but to soothe, connect, and inspire. Every smooth curve and quiet glide in a luxury car owes something to the DS's pioneering spirit. Culturally, the car continues to symbolize elegance, intellect, and creativity. Artists, filmmakers, and collectors return to it as an enduring reference for balance between technology and emotion. Its nickname, the Goddess, still feels fitting. It represents aspiration in physical form. To own or even see one today is to encounter a piece of history that remains alive with possibility. The Citroen DS 1955 stands as proof that design can be timeless when it captures the essence of hope and imagination. It reminds us that progress should always serve experience, not the other way around. In the end, the story of the Citroen DS 1955 is not about nostalgia. It is about courage. It is about a moment when a company decided that comfort and innovation could be art. Its legacy endures in every engineer who dreams of a better way, in every designer who sees beauty in function, and in every driver who believes a car can be more than machinery. The DS remains the ultimate expression of ambition turned into reality. Proof that the pursuit of perfection can elevate something as ordinary as driving into something extraordinary.